Hello, I'm Zash, and welcome to our reading of Steins Gate Zero. Joining me, as always, is Shadow. If you are new here, a link to the full playlist is in the card there. Last time, Daru and Yuki had their date, and it went awkwardly, so basically as expected. It is cute that Yuki is an otaku too. I think if the two of them actually talked about anime or something like that, they would get along great. She reminds me a bit of Marin from My Dress Up Darling. But let's see if their relationship will blossom. The Global Brain Science Comprehensive Research Organization Japanese office prep room in Wako City hadn't changed a bit in 6 months, and that's a hell of a name.
But that is a lot of words for Elmo.
It was still far from being what it needed to be, and still almost completely empty. There were rows and rows of empty desks. The amount of dust on the tables had perhaps increased. After Dr. Liskinen had left, it had probably remained unused.
Sorry to call you over like this, Lintelo.
Oh, it's fine. Dr. Liskinen had told me he wanted to update the Amadeus app to the latest version, so I'd come to his office after class. Maho had connected my phone to her PC to begin the process. He said it would only take 10 minutes, so I was sitting around waiting. I'm betting it's just imaging his phone so they could keep track of where he was, because it should not take that long to update the Amadeus app, because it is basically Skype and the real heavy lifting is done on the server side.
It's kind of self-updating.
Them having to hook up the phone to upload and patch it. I would think it's more taking an image of the phone so they can analyze what else he has been up to.
Yeah.
By the way, Lintelo, I know we discussed this before, but would you seriously consider being an exchange student?
Huh?
If it doesn't bother you, I'd be willing to write a recommendation letter. Of course, you'd need to pass the test and the interviews.
I don't know. That's scary.
I frantically straightened my posture. Yeah, but he could also be closer to Kurisu, technically. That's a very tempting offer, but I don't think I've got the academic talent for it yet. My goal is to go to Victor Condria, so I really don't want to screw it up. And so I was planning on really buckling down and studying for at least another year. Dr. Liskinen pursed his lips as I tried to stammer out an explanation. But soon... Okay. He patted me on the shoulder and smiled.
I knew you were a very thoughtful young man.
Really? No one's ever told me that before. Saying it was one thing, but maybe I was just a coward. There were times when you needed the courage to move forward without being afraid of failure. Was now one of those times?
So, you'll try for it next year then?
Yeah, maybe. Had I missed my chance? Would Dr. Liskinen wait until next year? I started to get nervous.
It's not good to obsess over things too much. I think even coming to visit would help your motivation.
Visit?
If the timing worked out for you, we'd be willing to have you visit. How about it?
What? I can't believe you do that for me. Thank you.
Of course, I don't know when I'll be heading back to America next, so I can't say exactly as to when it will be. Ha ha ha.
Right. I bowed my head in gratitude. Meeting Dr. Liskinen was a real lucky break for me. By chance, my eyes met Maho's. For some reason, her smile was a little sad. She quickly looked away and went back to her work. Maho was staying in a business hotel a few stops down from Wako City. She said she deliberately avoided staying in the same hotel as last time.
It's not quite as convenient, though.
You know, why not clean up a little? She hadn't spent that much time in Japan, and it was already messy.
Clean up? I've got everything laid out in the most efficient manner for my use. Girl has ADHD. I know what that is.
And that excuse didn't work on my parents either. Which meant she was refusing the hotel's cleaning service.
You know that's why you're never getting a boyfriend, right?
I could hear Kurisu from my phone. She was annoyed. Isn't that the default state for Kurisu? After the app updated, I'd left Amadeus running.
Nobody asked you. Any normal person would be embarrassed to invite someone over to a room like this.
Well, cleaning wasn't a specialty of mine either. It wouldn't be right to give her too much of a hard time. So, what did you want to talk about? I'd come to Maho's hotel because she said she wanted to talk to me about something. And Kurisu is going to interpret that as something else.
I don't know, at this point I think she wants to force them to break up and they haven't even got together.
I wouldn't have minded talking about it in the office, but she insisted on speaking alone in her hotel room. I knew she didn't mean anything by it. After knowing her for half a year, I knew she wasn't the type. Maho looked like she was having trouble finding the words she wanted to say.
You still haven't told me the truth about what happened to Kurisu.
Well, it's all in this novel here. If you've got 50 hours, we can go through it. I quickly shut down the Amadeus app.
And I want to ask you about the time machine, too.
The time machine?
You're the one who said that Kurisu was involved in Dr. Nakabachi's paper. Is she really working on a time machine?
How should I answer that? Last time, she'd been trying to decrypt Kurisu's laptop. I was willing to tell her what I'd experienced in order to get her to stop. In the end, I'd lost the chance though. But things were different now. Kurisu's laptop was gone. There was no reason to bring it up anymore. But then, Maho said something I didn't expect.
Actually, I've been researching a time machine for the last 6 months, along with my normal research.
What?
I thought that if Kurisu could do it, so could I. It's just a silly rivalry. Maybe I'm just being stubborn. But you know, if I could make a time machine, I told myself, maybe I could save Kurisu.
Don't!
What?
This was awful. Why bring it up now? Maho was still haunted by Kurisu's death, just as much as I was. Don't get any stupid ideas.
Okabe-san.
Don't try to save Makise Kurisu. It's impossible. The laws of God won't allow it.
Then I was right. I was right. You know something, don't you?
Maho got closer to me.
Did she really do it? Did Kurisu really make a time machine? You used it to become humanity's first time traveler, didn't you? I know you did.
Well, being the first at something loses its meaning when time travel's involved.
Yeah, it kind of does. I was thinking immediately, well, no, Suza did it first. And then, kind of, she did it first.
Do you have any proof of that? I pretended to remain calm. Maho seemed shocked at her own words.
I'm sorry. I'm being weird. I can't believe I said something so delusional.
Yajo-san? Maho started to cry. I didn't know what to do when she started crying right in front of me.
What's gotten into me? I didn't mean to cry.
She used her fingers to wipe away the tears. She seemed pretty unstable.
What I mentioned earlier, she has her own traumas regarding Kreese's death.
I could sense a lot more fragility than I'd seen before. She looked like she'd been psychologically pushed to the limit.
But as cool as the Amadeus project is, something that you can't truly grieve someone's death when you can just open up an app and talk to them at any time.
Yeah.
So she's never, like, Okabe had this whole breath of time when he was alone with it. And so even though he's still deeply, badly affected, he had a chance to grieve. He's accepted that she's gone. Yeah. I don't know if Maho's had that chance yet.
All the things she'd experienced must have taken a toll on her. When we were talking on video chat, I hadn't seen any signs of that at all. Should I tell her? If she was researching a time machine, that was a bad sign. She might start looking into things and open doors that should remain closed. If that was the case, I should tell her what I experienced and then have her give up, just like I did. Fine, I'll tell you what I experienced. Promise me you won't tell anyone. And I'll say this one more time. Don't get any ideas about saving Makise Kurisu. Got it? She nodded as she wiped away the tears. I told her about the events in the Alpha World line, about the time machine, about reading Steiner, about the method of sending memories back through time that I called Time Leap, about how Kurisu had developed a time leap machine that made this possible, about Amane Suzaha, the time traveler from the year 2036, about the future Suzaha had told us about, and World War III, and about how the race to develop a time machine would set off that war. I told her all these things, as matter-of-factly as I could. As for how Kurisu died, I couldn't tell her that.
When I told her everything, she fell silent for a bit. She took a deep breath, frowned, and rubbed her temples.
My head hurts.
You don't need to believe it all. You can think I'm crazy if you want. It doesn't bother me. But if you insist on continuing to research a time machine and save Makise Kurisu, I'll do whatever I have to in order to stop you. So give up on any ideas you've got. Stop pushing yourself so hard. I was about to say more, but Maho put up her hand to stop me.
Let me get this all straight in my head a little more. This reading Steiner you told me about, isn't it the new encephalitis? The symptoms match what Dr. Liskinen told me about.
That's true. It might be. I still don't know whether I should tell him or not. It may just confuse him for no good reason. What do you think?
Don't ask me, please.
Maho was still massaging her temples with her fingers. That's true. Sorry.
Did you really destroy Kreesu's laptop?
Yeah, I did.
Did you see what was on it?
I didn't know how to crack that password. There was no way I could. Even Daru said he couldn't do it. There was no way I could do it on my own.
Did you read the original paper on the time machine that Kreesu wrote? I think he had it, but
He hadn't read the actual paper. He just developed it alongside her, and he read Dr. Nakabachi's paper.
well, even if he read it like fully, he wouldn't understand quite a lot of it or be able to like pass it along to her.
And he read all the John Titor stuff too. Like, he understood Dr. Nakabachi's paper well enough to realize it was plagiarized from John Titor.
Yeah, listen, they made a time machine in a fucking microwave. He is exceptionally smart, but he doesn't have
Daru did, but...
Yeah. He helped, though.
Yeah.
He is exceptionally smart. He just doesn't have the knowledge.
Yeah. Maho kept asking me questions. She seemed to be in some kind of strange hurry.
Do you know how Kreesu made her time leap machine?
The basic ideas.
Could you recreate it?
I don't know. Maybe with Daru's help.
So you could, right? I don't think she's listening to the don't do that.
Yeah. It would be difficult to do it on my own.
What about me?
Don't even think about it. Maho suddenly grimaced as if she was in pain. I realized how pale she was. Hyajo-san, are you okay? Did she really have a headache or something? You want to lie down? But she shook her head and kept asking questions.
Where's the time machine now? The one that Suzuha-san used. Where is it? Don't tell her that. Where? Don't tell her that.
I wasn't sure if I should say with it Suzuha's permission. Akihabara. Maho looked so desperate that I found myself answering her question. It's still there, on top of Radicon.
I see.
Her shoulders slumped, and her head drooped. I was worried that she might ask to see it for herself, but maybe she really was sick. Are you really okay? I put my hand on her shoulders and looked at her face. You should rest for today. There was no warning at all. Maho's tiny body slammed into me. The force was enough to push me back to the wall. What are you... Before I knew what was happening, her arms were against my throat.
She weighs 90 pounds. Pick her up and push.
She was using the bone in her arm to put pressure on my windpipe. I couldn't breathe or speak. I twisted my body and tried to resist, still clueless as to what was going on. Then she used her other hand to grab my head and slam it back into the wall. Her strength was incredible. I was a lot bigger than she was, but I still couldn't escape her grasp.
I'm sorry, Okabe-san.
Her voice was very dark and very cold. And suddenly, she moaned again, and her face twisted in pain.
My head feels like it's about to explode.
She was crying again.
Why? Why did you tell me? You shouldn't have said anything.
I couldn't escape. I grabbed onto her long hair and tried to pull her away, but she didn't move at all. It was as if she felt no pain. My phone had been vibrating in my pocket for a while now. I desperately grabbed for it. I pressed the button without even looking at the screen. Please answer, Kurisu.
Okay.
God, Kurisu! I was blacking out. Was I going to die here? Without even knowing why Maho was trying to kill me? But the whole time she was strangling me, Maho looked like she was in so much pain. And wait, was she still crying? Before I could figure out if her tears were real or an act, I passed out. When I woke up, my throat hurt. I tried to cover my mouth with my hands, but something was keeping them from moving. I opened my eyes and saw that I was sitting in some kind of chair with my head facing downward.
Hey, so this is the second time we've seen this happen? What the fuck?
I slowly raised my head. My hands were tied to the armrests with zip ties. When I tried to break out, the ties cut deep into my skin and hurt very badly. I tried looking around. It was a room I'd never seen before. There were machines that looked like they belonged in the operating room of a hospital. But the wall was also lined with monitors, like some kind of guard room or control room. I couldn't see any windows, so I had no idea where I was. Someone! My throat hurt when I tried to talk, and then I remembered that Maho had almost killed me. Why had she done that? I felt more confused than angry.
Hello, Lintalo. You're awake?
I heard footsteps and saw a wavering shadow beneath the dim fluorescent lights in front of me. I knew that voice. What? Dr. Liskinen.
How do you feel? If you're thirsty, I can get you some water.
When I looked again, I saw that he wasn't alone. There were several men behind him in black suits. They were looking at me without saying a word. All of them were holding guns. They looked like men in black and reminded me of the foreigners I'd almost run into in Daru's shop 6 months ago. Or was it the same group? What's going on here? There was a lot of things I wanted to ask, but more than anything, I wanted to know why Dr. Liskinen wasn't helping me. Of course, the first thing that came to mind was the obvious answer. It was Dr. Liskinen who had put me here, and Maho had captured me under his orders. But I didn't want to think about that. Where are we? So all I could ask was a stupid question like that.
I was right. You truly are a treasure trove of information. Right now, you're as valuable as the President of the United States.
Not that valuable then. He didn't answer me, but he showed me a self-satisfied smile. I could feel alarm bells going off in my head. I was getting more suspicious of Dr. Liskinen. Am I imprisoned here?
It would be more accurate to say you're under our protection. Once your value becomes clear, there will be a lot of people coming after you.
Did you order this, Dr. Liskinen?
That's right. I made the decision. After hearing about your information from Maho.
Where is Hyojo-san?
Resting in her hotel room, I'd imagine.
Did Hyojo-san become my friend in order to extract information from me?
That wasn't her original intent. In the end, that's how it ended up, though.
And you, too? Were you nice to me because you were after something? Just who are you?
Now, please calm yourself. I've told you before, haven't I? A scientist must remain calm at all times. Excitement is only allowed when the experiment is a success.
No, excitement is allowed when the experiment is a failure if you still learn something. Instead of feeling calm, Dr. Liskinen's attitude was pissing me off. I felt betrayed. There was rage, frustration, sorrow, and a lot of other feelings all mixed together as I gritted my teeth. Dr. Liskinen ignored me and gave a brief order in English to the other men. They left the room. Only Dr. Liskinen and I remained.
Now then, Lintelo, I'll tell you about my other job.
Your other job? It was then that I remembered the other world line that I'd been sent to. Shimoyama had told me that an American organization had demanded that I be turned over. Are you with the CIA? The NSA? But Dr. Liskinen only chuckled.
Don't compare me to those idiots. They're just a bunch of useless government employees. Are you aware of an American civilian intelligence company called Strategic Focus?
Strategic Focus? I'd heard of them before, on a conspiracy theory site that the old me used to read all the time. Stratfolk? I remembered reading that they'd acquired top secret information in Russian ballistic missiles that even the CIA couldn't get, and then sold it. The result was the destruction of the CIA's reputation, and at the same time, the total reorganization of Russia's military strategy. I'd even heard rumors that during the Gulf and Iraq wars, they obtained information about the warring countries faster than anyone and spread it as needed. The world's government supposedly called them the Shadow CIA. You work for Stratfolk? But I thought you were the chief researcher at the Brain Science Institute.
That's my real job, of course. By the way, I often run into people who tell me the exact same things. They tell me that humans are just monkeys that murder each other. The human brain and the development of the neocortex are what give rise to crazy religions and crazy ambitions, and that's why there are wars. But every time I hear that, I think to myself, that's stupid. It's nonsense. Who could believe something so silly? So, why do humans fight all these useless wars then? Do you know, Lintelo? It's because of information. All human beings are part of a certain community, a certain colony, if you will. Each individual thinks he's acting on his own, but, in fact, all our brains are connected by the information distributed by our community. And thus, we are forced to live as members of a herd, whether we like it or not. Let me give you an example. Well, as examples go, it's not the best, but...
The worst massacre in history, which was called out by a certain European country, did not take place during the dark ages of the witch trials. It was halfway through the 20th century, in a time when the atomic bomb already existed. And the country that carried it out was one of the most civilized on Earth. We'll leave the question of their leader's sanity to the historians, but...
What about the people who were actually on the ground, doing the killing? Were they simply murderous monkeys? No, they were people, just like any others you might find. Speaking as a brain scientist, I'm certain that if I were to examine one of their brains, I'd find nothing wrong with them at all.
I think we are in the villainous monologue part of this story.
But once they received the wrong information, their brains became capable of murder without remorse.
The wrong information?
This is our job. We are in the right, and anyone who does not obey is evil. That information.
What are you trying to say?
There needs to be someone who can control the information given to these fragile things we call brains. And that is the ultimate goal of strategic focus. As I am in complete agreement with that goal, I work as an agent for them in addition to being a brain scientist. Do you understand?
I don't. That's just the kind of monologue a villain gives in the movies. In the end, all you're doing is selling information for money. You said I'm a treasure trove of information, right? Who are you going to sell information on the time machine to? America? China? Or the war zones in Africa and the Middle East?
All of them.
The Skinnen shrugged his shoulders and quietly laughed.
It's just like nuclear weapons. Every nation needs them to act as a restraint against the others.
Time machines aren't like nuclear weapons. No one even realizes if they've been used. The whole world might change without even the person who used it knowing. There's no way to restrain their use. The world will just keep changing and changing, with no one knowing which country altered the world line or how.
That's right. A time machine is far more delicate thing than a nuclear weapon. That's why we need your power. All of you people, I should say. You called it reading Steiner, as I recall. It seems to have the same symptoms as the new encephalitis.
That's right. The Skinnen was researching the new encephalitis, too.
We'd reached the point where we realized that the patients may be capable of detecting changes to the past. But we wanted proof. So does every intelligence agency in the world. They're desperately searching.
I hated myself for not realizing the possibilities sooner. I'd always had the wrong idea. I'd thought that the reason the new encephalitis patients were being brought together was just to give them meaningless treatment. But I was naive. Too naive. The Skinnen and Stratfog's goal was to gather people with reading Steiner and study them.
Maho just told me all about your amazing abilities. I had originally just hoped to get information about Kurisu's successes. But instead, we even got information on the new encephalitis. You are wonderful. This puts us a step ahead of the rest of the world. And why didn't you tell me about this sooner? If you had, I wouldn't have had to do so many things to your friend Katsumi's brain.
What? Katsumi. Nakase Katsumi. Did he mean Fubuki?
And I wouldn't have had to use the procedure on Maho's brain either.
Even Hyojo-san? Was that why she was acting so weird? She's your assistant, right? She respected you. She looked up to you. How could you use her in a human experiment?
It was necessary to acquire information that will benefit all of humanity. And there's no need to panic. Both Maho and Katsumi will survive with only minor impairments to their brain functionality.
You're insane! For the first time, I felt hatred for and fear of the man in front of me. I couldn't believe that this was the same man I'd respected so much.
If we investigated the brains of patients who've contracted reading Steiner, I'm sure we'll learn more. If we could sell that in a set, along with the time machines, we can maintain the military balance of power across the world. We can avoid war. I want your cooperation, too.
Skinnin's mannerisms hadn't changed a bit, even as he spoke of these terrifying things. He spoke of these insane things in the same manner that Maho once described as like a mischievous child. You tricked me, didn't you? You approached me just because I was friends with Kurisu. You tried to get information about Kurisu from me.
I don't think I ever tricked you. It was a coincidence that we first met. It's true that a major reason I asked you to test Amadeus was your relationship with Kurisu. But it's also true that as I got to know you, I really did take an interest in you. I still wish you could be my assistant. But that's a separate matter. Remember what I said? You're as valuable as the President of the United States himself right now. I need to prioritize the company's work over my private feelings.
For the sake of humanity's future peace.
I'm sorry, Lintelo, but at the same time, I'm excited. I can't wait to see all the information you possess.
Go to hell!
I'm going to make a copy of your memory data. Your memories are going to be used in the Amadeus system. Interesting idea, right? That way, even if you die in an unfortunate accident, your memories will remain.
Oh, don't worry. I'm not interested in killing you.
Humans have far weaker security than Amadeus. Once they taste pain, they'll gladly share information to escape it. Their security, when it comes to keeping secrets, is practically non-existent. Torture doesn't work on Amadeus, which means it will be far more difficult to deal with than you. The only reason I'm taking the memory data is to have a backup. Even if, for example, you were unable to endure the torture and went insane. In the near future, we'll be able to download your memories back into your brain. You attended my lectures, so you know this, right? We'll start by getting that memory data. And then you're going to tell me all kinds of things. We're going to be busy. Now, relax. Otherwise, I can't extract the data correctly.
Leskinen! You!
Don't make that face. No one is coming to help you. This place is under Straffolk's control. No one knows about it but us. no one.
I was too stunned to think. There was nowhere to run. My knees shook in terror as I imagined what was about to happen to me. Maybe it would have been better to die. And then I felt sick as I remembered that I was fated not to die until 2025. If no amount of torture could kill me, this was literally hell.
You are in dire straits, Okabe. Steins Gate is slipping from your grasp. Things are falling apart. You trusted the wrong people, and the organization is about to win. This world line is falling, and you must escape. Or has the indomitable Hoyin Kyoma given up?